everybody. I'm Brian Sullivan in for Neil, and this is your world. He left, but he didn't go easily. A defiant Van Jones resigning as the president's green czar after his past came back to haunt him. That is sparking calls on Capitol Hill to suspend the appointment of future czars until Congress can fully examine their background. Our next guest is going a step further. He wants funding for all czars, all 33 of them, cut off until they are confirmed by the Senate. Republican Congressman Jack Kingston joining us now on Your World. Congressman, welcome to Your World. It's Brian Sullivan. What do you want to do?
Thank you, Brian. I think that it's very important for the president to follow Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution that says the president must seek the advice and consent of the U.S. Senate when appointing his principal officers and advisors. And that's all that we're asking. So that if you're not going to follow the Constitution, then don't appoint them to positions where they are answering directly to the president. As we've seen with Van Jones, there's some really wacky views of some of these czars that we've never had a chance to have vetted by the American public. And, you know, one thing the United States Senate is good at is vetting people and asking very, very difficult questions. And so we believe that these czars should have that process, just like Supreme Court nominations, just like cabinet secretaries, just like undersecretaries, deputy secretaries, generals, officers of the military. The list goes on, but it's part of the constitutional requirement.
Yes, if you consider the so-called czars to be a principal advisor or an officer, it sounds like you do.
Yes, absolutely. These are people who will directly answer to the president or maybe to his chief of staff in some cases, but they have a lot of influence. And I can say this, you talk to cabinet members, and some of them can't even get a chance to see the president. So you've got people who actually duplicate what cabinet members are doing, regulatory czars, Guantanamo Bay closing czars. You've got czars for Afghanistan, czars for the military, czars for energy. This green czar's czar, Mr. Jones, here's a guy who's an admitted communist who was a member of a Marxist group in Oakland, California, who said capitalism is killing the planet. You know, these are interesting views which the American people would like to know about. The science czar, for example, said that global warming will kill 1 billion people by the year 2020. Now, you know, that's an interesting view. And if the guy's that smart, if he's right, we need to be scared to death and react to it. But if he's just making crazy statements, I think that's relevant to know also.
Okay, but at the same time, we know the Congress is very busy. There's an elected job to do. How much time would it, right now we have, what, 33 different czars in the Obama administration? Wouldn't this take valuable time away from Congress to do what it was elected to do?
You know, part of what Congress is elected to do is to follow Section 2, Article 2 of the Constitution about advising the president on his folks and giving him a chance to vet things. You know, and the White House policy is broken down when on page 4, I think it's question 16 on the application that these czars filled out, it says, are you a member of any group that might embarrass the administration? Well, one of the groups that Mr. Jones is a member of not only was a Marxist group, but he founded a group called Cops Watch. And it was one that advised African Americans to film every interaction that they had with the cops out in California for the sole purpose of seeing if they stepped over the line and they could sue them. You know, and that kind of thing is good for a community activist, but it's not really what you want an advisor to the President of the United States to be doing.
Well, we have another czar being announced.
I think there's time.
We're Ron Bloom, manufacturing czar. We're going to get to more on that in the next segment, but I would ask you, how many more of these non-elected positions do you believe that we will see in this administration?
Oh, I don't know. You know, Tsarist Russia, I think, had something like 18 czars over a 300-year period of time. This administration's already up to 34. So they seem to have a great appetite for it. Now, other administrations have had czars, but it's been a handful of czars. So I think as long as this administration's going to lean and utilize this tool as a way of getting advisors to the president and ways of implementing his policies, I think the U.S. Senate needs to step forward and implement Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution, which is simply following the Constitution. It's nothing radical.
Okay. Thank you very much. We do appreciate it. Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you.
All right.